I mentioned earlier that we've been suffering from a lot of fires here in California. Here, however, is a little bit of good news because some of our fires were caused by negligence by a certain power company. That power company is PG&E. We've been talking about PG&E. The fire was their fault. It was the fault of their negligence. It wasn't their first offense as a company. They're a corrupt company, and guess what? They're filing for bankruptcy in the wake of fire lawsuits. Faced with billions of dollars in potential liabilities from 2 years of devastating Northern California wildfires, as well as the specter of future catastrophic blazes, California's Pacific Gas and Electric, one of the nation's largest utilities, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The state is investigating PG&E's culpability in November's Butte County fire that killed at least 86 people and incinerated some 14,000 homes in around the town of Paradise, California. The utility says it has no choice but to file for bankruptcy. You ain't getting a violin played for me. I don't have a violin to play for you guys. Given the flood of lawsuits and wildfire liabilities, that could be up to $30 billion. Ratings agency had reduced its stock to junk status. We are fully committed to enhancing our wildlife safety efforts, too little, too late, as well as helping restoration and rebuilding efforts across the communities impacted by the devastating Northern California wildfires, Interim CEO John Simon said in the statement. To be clear, we have heard calls for change and we are determined to take action. Too little, too late. So here's what a law professor has to say about this. Chapter 11 is really the best way to deal comprehensively with all the liabilities they have. A key hurdle for the company in California, utilities can be held liable for wildfire damage if the company sparked the blaze, regardless of whether they're found negligent. So according to this article from the Nice Polite Republicans, NPR Radio, PG&E got a rare bit of good news last week when the state's fire emergency said in a report that it does not think the company's equipment started a massive 2017 fire in one country, which killed 22 people and did an estimated $10 billion in damage. But that report is not the final word, and the company still faces lawsuits from other fires that year. In addition, the state is still investigating whether PG&E is liable for 2018's Camp Fire, the deadliest and most destructive blaze in state history. Too many victims, this doesn't make sense. When PG&E says, oh, safety is our most important priority, no, it's not. Their only priority is profit and more profits. So Danko, who is one of the attorneys suing PG&E, sees bankruptcy as a PG&E maneuver to get around paying for what he calls the company's long history of negligence and ineptitude. Yeah, it's not like if in one, for instance, just a reminder here, it's not like if in one, for instance, they're not the culprit, that means, oh, they're totally innocent party. Like, no, they've had many instances of negligence. They've had many instances of there was a danger associated with what they were doing, and they did nothing to change course, and we've done videos about it on this show. So this is not their first infraction. As a company, they have had many infractions. So it's not like if in one, for instance, they were like, oh, it wasn't them, actually. It's not like that means, oh, well, then let's just drop the suit. They're totally innocent, are bad. It's not like that at all, just so you know. All right, so let's see what's more to this. Given its track record of obfuscation and mismanagement, I'm not surprised PG&E claims it can no longer meet its financial obligations. That's what California State Senator Bill Dodd said. So they filed for bankruptcy. And I guess we'll see how this whole thing ends. My message to PG&E is good riddance. But this doesn't necessarily mean that they're going away either.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to